Once it gets to a certain point, you should be able to remove this. And when you remove it, you dump everything out. Yo, welcome back to Urban Street 420. I'm your host, 40. Today I'm going to show you how to remove a stubborn core from a THC cap of a Hyperdyne, right? Some of you might be asking, what is a THC cap, right? The cap is this right here. It turns a Hyperdyne into a ball vape. Now we're going to do a review on the THC cap soon. I've already done a review on the Hyperdyne. Check a link up at the top if you haven't seen it. Now, the thing is, I just got this thing a week ago. And in experimenting it over the last week, last night I decided I wanted to put the stainless steel balls in it so I could use it with an induction heater, the wand, right? When I took out the core, let's go to the other camera. And in order to do that, by the way, the core is the centerpiece right here. All you have to do is take your Hyperdyne and the mouthpiece and press the mouthpiece on the center like this. And when you press down, it should pop out. But notice it's still in there, right? And this Hyperdyne is not going to go far enough in here to knock it out. So just grab a pen or a pencil and you could push it out further. Now if you do this a little faster, it will pop out just with the Hyperdyne. Now I'm going to put the cap down for a second and explain one quick thing. Depending on where these holes are oriented will change the way the THC cap works with the Hyperdyne. If these holes are facing up inside of your cap, this acts more like a convection vape. If you spin it around and have the solid part facing up, this acts more like a hybrid vape. Now, in order to take the ball media out of this, the side that has the holes is kind of like a little cap on top of this unit. So you should be able to pick this up. However, this metal is super thin. I don't know where I was going there. This metal is super thin, so I imagine the tolerances in the machine shop are crazy small. You want to make this tight enough so it stays on, but at the same time, you want to make it easy enough to come off. So the people are complaining that maybe it got stuck on some of them. Well, wait a second, I think that tolerance is so small. Anyways, what did I do to resolve this? So last night, as soon as I was having trouble, the first thing I did, of course, was I emailed DynaVap. The thing is, I guess I could have texted one of them, but I don't have them on speed dial like Batman, right? Anyways, so then I started looking at forums. I looked for videos. I didn't see anyone else making a video about this, so I said, hey, we need to make a video, number one. Number two, I read in forums that other people had problems. In fact, I saw one guy, he took pliers and he messed up the core or whatever. I mean, I feel for that dude. And in fact, my fix is to use pliers. You have to be super careful and do everything I'm saying and don't do things I tell you not to do. Otherwise, you'll mess up the core. So do this at your own risk. DynaVap did not tell me how to do this. This is just how I opened it. So first thing I did is I put this in the freezer because I figured in the freezer it might freeze any resins in there, etc. Now I know that metal contracts or shrinks in the cold, but my thought was it would just harden the resins, just in case, right? I do think that step was not needed, right? The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna need a rolling tray, right? Or a big plate or something to catch the media, because when you open this stuff is gonna go everywhere, right? Next, you need the other media that you're gonna change to. So right now, the stainless steel balls are in here. Let's switch them to the green sapphires, right? So the first thing that you're going to want to do is use your fingernail, but the reality is because this metal is so thin, and my nails are not that bad, but it messes up your fingernail. So my idea was to use some pliers as my fingernail. And the way I got this idea is because I saw the way George opened a BallR cap, and I realized it's about getting tension in the right place, right? Let's go to the other camera. Well, actually, before we do that, let me say this. If you put this around your core and you squeeze at all, you will destroy your core. You cannot use this as a plier. You can't use this to squeeze and turn or any of that stuff. I'm not suggesting you do that at all. I'm going to repeat, do not use pliers as pliers. The idea is these are replacing your fingernails. Let's go to the other camera. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, right? So when you put this on the core, what you're trying to do is find where this lip is, right? Where you would be using your fingernails. And my whole idea, by the way, and look, I want to prove something to you. So I'm holding this with this. I'm going to put this over, but I'm not really holding it. I'm not squeezing this at all. Look how easy it pops out of the pliers. And that's to illustrate that I'm not using any pressure. If you use any pressure, you'll destroy the core. And this is really important that you understand this, because if you screw up your core, it's not my fault. Don't use any pressure. You can't use these as pliers. Let's go back to the other camera. So the idea is you get the pliers right underneath where that lip is. You close them enough so that it's around this. Remember, this is easy to come on and off. And now what you're going to do is not even hold the handle. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use this to scrape at the tip, right? you'll notice as I scrape at that tip using it as my fingernail, one side might start to come up. So for example, this side looks a bit higher. So I'm going to spin it around to the other side, and then I'm going to come on the opposite side with this, and I'm going to use it as my fingernail, right? And I'm just wedging it. Now, once we start making more progress, now this is, by the way, this has already been open last night. The first time was a little bit more difficult. But once you start making progress and one side starts going up, you could use your finger on the other side. Do it over a rolling tray or whatever. It's going to go everywhere. Let's watch. Let's go to the other camera. I think it's ready to come off, so I'm going to show you. So I go to the opposite side. I use my finger right here, and I just start wedging up, spinning around. Now, again, this is loosened because I've taken it off already. But you can use this as your finger, go to one side, switch to the other, go to the other side. Once it gets to a certain point, you should be able to remove this. And when you remove it, you dump everything out. Now, obviously, I made that look super easy and elegant, and it just all went in the rolling tray. The first time I opened it, that's not what happened. What happened is this popped off, the balls went all over. Now, mind you, luckily, they went all over somewhere where I could get them, but just be careful. Now, how did I load this thing up? Let's go back to the other camera. I loaded them straight out of the bag, and let me show you. If you open up this bag and you turn it on this side and you pour out, for sure they're going to get stuck, you're going to mess up. You have to turn it the weird way or the wrong way, squeeze it to create a pathway, and then pour it this way, right? Let's go to the other camera and let me show you. So I'm so confident we're not going to spill, which means we're probably going to spill. I'm so confident we're not going to spill, then I'm not going to, well, let's move the stainless steel balls. I'm going to grab this little shot glass right here, make sure everything falls to the corner of this rolling tray, and I'm going to dump them into the shot glass only so that we have an empty tray in case we make a mess while filling the sapphires in the cap, right? Or in the core, I'm sorry. Let's go to the other camera. So I'm going to squeeze this. We're going to create a channel here. We're going to put this over, and let's see if I turn my body, you'll be able to see better, hopefully. And we're just going to go like this. And I should be wearing my glasses. That would probably ensure I don't spill. But I think that we didn't. Right? Is all, yeah, I don't think we did. And I didn't even use my glasses. That's amazing. Anyway, so the next step is you're going to take this cap on. And when you put this cap on, right, put this core right here on something solid. Then find this on top, right? And you want to lightly press with your finger. And you might want to hold the base as you try to move this so it's flat and whatever, and then just lightly press with your thumb or your finger or whatever, lightly. Then turn it on its side and squeeze it with two fingers, right? At this point, it should be on very much harder, right? Don't do it too much, but it should be, and do this over a rolling tray. Shake it with the cap part facing down just to make sure, and do it very close just in case it opens, right? Just to make sure it's on, right? And then once it's on, what you're going to want to do, again, let's go to the other camera, is you're going to look at these holes right here. First, decide the orientation. Because the green sapphire balls are in, I like the convection side. So we're going to put this side with the holes up into the cap. But you're not just going to drop it in. You're going to look for one of these holes, right? So this hole right here on the cap, and we are going to align it with this. This is fairly easy. You see it? This is the hole. These are where these are. And just drop it in, and it's not going to go. It's going to be right here. Now you're going to take the mouthpiece of your Hyperdyne. You're going to press down, and bada bing, bada boom, we're good to go. Now we have the green sapphires in here, and again, we can change back to these no problem. You could get yourself a funnel like this, but it's absolutely unnecessary. In fact, if I wanted to take these now and store them or clean them or whatever, I'll use the same bag, I'll open this up, do it over a rolling tray or something just in case, just pour all these in. Now they're no longer in here, they're in the Ziploc, and what I could do is put some isopropyl in here, I could put a little bit of salt, I could close this, shake it up, whatever, clean it, then I would take them out, rinse them under water, and then use a paper towel. And when I say rinse them under water, you're either going to do it one by one, right, which obviously is not a good idea, or you'll put this in a dish of water. That would be smartest. And then fish them out, dry them off on a towel, etc. Right? Anyways, after you do that, if you replace it with stainless steel media or the green sapphires, etc., go ahead and you've gone ahead and cleaned them, etc., go ahead and run a cycle without herb, right? heat it up. If it's with the stainless steel balls in an induction heater, do a heat cycle, or do a heat cycle with a torch if it's the emeralds, just to burn off anything, just in case there's some isopropyl or anything left behind, etc. Anyways, guys, gals, everybody, I know that this will be useful because the reality is I saw other people having that problem, and I think this is good to go. Just be super careful. Again, we're not using this as pliers. If you try to use this to turn to like unscrew the cap part of it or whatever, for sure you're going to destroy it. If you try to use this to squeeze the core to pull the cap up because you're making the core smaller, of course you're going to destroy it. The only idea is this becomes your fingernail, right? And once you get that, it will work. You'll be good to go. I did get this, and I wanted to show this before I finish this video. Do you guys have a J-hook like this? If you do, how are you cleaning this thing? I've cleaned this several times, and I think I have to bust out the ultrasonic cleaner. I think that's the only way I'm going to get this really clean because it's clogged and anyways. But I also found out if I put this ash catcher right here, then I can put my Hyperdyne like this, and we could be like Sherlock Holmesing it, right? Anyways, fun little setup. But I want to clean this better, and I think I'm going to have to take the ultrasonic cleaner. Anyways, guys, gals, everybody, we're going to do a video on the BallR cap, changing the media from the stainless steel balls to sapphire balls to try a different setup, a different flavor. Oh my, especially because the Unidin has some really crazy flavor coming from that device. So I imagine using it with the sapphire balls should be pretty impressive. Anyways, guys, gals, everybody, woo! I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. You know the deal, baby. Woo! Till next time, I'm out!